folks, I'm Ultrazilla, and today I have a review of the Neca Godzilla 1985 Return of Godzilla, however you want to call it. We got a brand new review here for you. Finally, some new toys here at Ultrazilla. It's been a long time coming, honestly. You know, it's very cool to have something brand new. Kind of brand new, I guess. It is a revised reissue of their original Godzilla 1985. I'm gonna call it 1985 because honestly that's what I know it as when I was growing up, so that's always the nostalgia always gets me more than anything. So Godzilla 1985 as far as I'm concerned. You know, like, I didn't review this Godzilla 1985, their original version. That was the only Neca Godzilla besides the Giant 2014 that I haven't reviewed. So I kind of was planning to review it, and then when I heard last summer that they were doing this revised version, figured might as well wait and, like, get them both together. So we give them both a fair shake at the same time, which is very cool. And again, I am really just happy to have a new figure here. First figure I bought myself since early February. So, plenty of reasons for that. Not going to get into it here, but let's get into the review. Alright, gang, let's start with the simple things, with the articulation. This is the original. Got a jaw joint, head's on a ball joint. You have a neck joint here. This kind of swivels. The upper body moves like so. Hinge swivel at the shoulder. Hinge swivel at the elbow. Hinge swivel at the wrist. Actually, the wrists are just ball joints. I am sorry about that. So, but you can, you know, you can move it around. Not great, but you can move it around. This one pops off very easy on mine. That's how I remember it was even a ball joint. But yeah, this does move around in here, so that's pretty good. Legs are on ball joints. Not getting a ton of motion here, and big. The knees have a hinge in there. You can't swivel it around. But, man, yeah, this guy doesn't have much motion in there. Ball jointed feet as well, so you get an okay range of motion. Tail, can move it at the base at a ball joint, as well as there, and here, and then the rest is a bendy wire. So that's the original. And you want to give him his hand back. The new one, let's see if anything is any different. Why not? The jaw, the head, probably isn't. The neck. In swivel at the shoulders. The arms, the elbows are very tight on mine. Gotta blow dry that. Oh, I ain't getting any motion at all at the elbow there. Ooh, same thing there. I will update after this. The wrists are completely different here. So you do have a hinge right there, which is great. So that is a bit of difference. The legs move a little freer. That's nice. Let's see if we got any better motion here. At the knees, nope. A little bit better on this side. For some reason, this whole side works better than this side. I don't know why. Feet on ball joints again. Motion there. Motion there. Motion there. Motion there. Same deal. And then the tail has a bendy wire, of course. So really the only big difference, the hips are a little more freer on the new one, as well as the hinged hands, which help a lot. And as promised, updated with a little heat. The elbow is freed up. This knee is not. That's a bit of a bummer. I can't really do much with that knee. So I don't know if there's stuck paint in there, but that's my update. All right, gang, starting with proportions here. You know, basically, they're the same. There's part of me, and I don't think it's even part of me. I just think this first one stands just a tad taller than the new one. And that could be because of the way the legs are and the way they're positioned. Now the proportions here, the thighs are like very widely set. I think they're just, I think they are sculpted just a little bit different. I could be wrong about that because, I mean, a lot of the folds and wrinkles in it do look the same, but the way they sit is completely different. Like, you could just tell, they just don't sit in the joints the same, and the hand came off again. This is such a pain in the butt, for sure. But, yeah, that is, for sure, I feel like the new one just has nicer looking proportions, and it all has to do with the way the legs sit, for sure. Starting with the original, I honestly never had that much of a problem with it. Folks complained about the spines and, you know, the color and the glossiness. It didn't really bother me because, you know what, guys? What other Godzilla 1985 did you have in your collection that was articulated, you know, like this? It's just, you know, it filled the need. Fine. It's not perfect, but fine, you know, like, for this price point, fine. I just don't have a problem with it. Like, I really don't. Taking a closer look at the head sculpt, I do have some problems with the eyes. You can see right there, the eyes like kind of messed up. That one is fine, but the paint is kind of bleeding. Like, it looks like his eye's bleeding in his pupil. That's not so hot, but, you know, it is what it is. The teeth aren't that bad, a little bit chipped. This guy's been around for quite a while, though, so I don't know how much that was originally like that or not, but, you know, it is what it is. It's not that bad. The spines, yes, aren't the greatest. Both, hold on, before that. The rest of the head sculpt, I think, is pretty good, for sure. So the spines, you know, they're a bit too skinny. They look a little odd the way they're painted. But yeah, the skinniness I feel like is the most glaring thing. I kind of don't like how that sits. This here's kind of, when you push it down, just kind of bleeds over like that. But yeah, I understand it. But that's like, it's not that far off. You know, this Godzilla really did have small spines. It's just not really like that. Otherwise, I think the hand, the sculpt is actually pretty nice. Like, I think they did a fantastic job sculpting it. It's got some nice texture to it. I think the tail looks really good. You know, besides the wide thighs, I think it looks fine. I know some folks didn't love these toes, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. A little bit more monstrous, you know, so, and they're painted fine. Actually pretty well, you know. The hands are painted fine too. Nothing really wrong with that. I don't mind the color scheme on this one. I really don't. And if you've seen some of my older Godzilla NECA reviews, and one of the first ones I ever did was the GMK, and I reviewed the SH Monstros, and it was like the comparison video before comparison videos. It was the SH Monstros and the NECA one. The thing I really liked about the NECA one was the kind of greenish color. Now, this one has some hues of green in it. It's not as crazy as that one. It still looks dark, but it's definitely, you know, it's definitely in there. And you can see it the more, you know, you turn it around in different light and stuff. You can see it for sure. But I don't mind that. I feel like that's pretty cool. It's always been kind of this like American thing to do, to kind of color Godzilla a little bit greenish. So I never minded that that NECA did that with this to set it apart, and I don't mind the glossiness either. I don't. It doesn't bother me one bit. I don't really love how his dorsal fins are painted. I will say that. But otherwise, this was fine. If they never gave me another one, I was totally fine with this. But since they did give us another one, hey, I'm very happy. Because this looks fantastic. It is in its proper charcoal gray color, which helps bring out a lot of the detail. I think it really does. It makes it stand out. There's not much of a like wash in the sky or anything like that, but just the color alone really does help it out a lot. You know, I think it really does work. Otherwise, a lot of the sculpt is the same. Obviously, the glaring difference, and we'll look at that right now, is the spines. The dorsal fins look fantastic. They're nice and chunky, they're fat. You know, it's not too far off from what my favorite Godzillas from the 70s were. These big, chunky spines, and they look so good. I think they're done really well. Look at all that texture in there. It's painted very well. So, yeah, that is done great. No doubt about it, you know. We went over the hips already, and I think those look really good. The paint on the toenails look great. Very nicely done. And the hands, the new sculpt on the hands are good. I do dig it. It's not that different. Honestly, it's pretty similar, but they did add the hinge, and that helps, and it makes it feel a little different, the way it sits in there. I mean, there is a lot of reuse here for sure. It's mostly the same, but the things that they did change, I do approve of, and it does make a whole lot of difference. The head sculpt is really nice again. The eyes this time, I think, are done a lot better. The mouth looks really good. A lot whiter in the teeth than the original. So that's pretty awesome. I do dig that. Tongue looks really good in there. So, you know, the little bit of differences there really help this guy out a lot. I think that looks good. The one thing that really helps a lot, actually, is this one dorsal fin here being a lot... There's these little nubs don't help, and this being bigger really does help it a lot, in my opinion. It just does. Are the bottom ones different? I can't remember. Yeah, so the new ones, which are on the back, are a lot different going downwards. So it does become the same after a while, but you know, having this being different, obviously all of this and this does help this figure out a whole lot. So it's really, a lot of it is subtle, but it does make this figure look amazing. For your size comparisons, here's the Godzillas with a bunch of figures you might have in your collection. And my final thoughts. You know, I really never had a problem with the original. I know a lot of people have, and I've said this already in the review, but I didn't. You know, I didn't mind the glossiness. I didn't mind the green. I didn't even mind the dorsal fins. Were they right? No, but I didn't mind it. So, now you know, and now you've seen my review of it, and honestly, is it really that bad? It's not. But the new one is a big improvement. So if you were gonna get any, don't pay aftermarket prices for the original anymore. I don't even know if there was much of an aftermarket for the original, but if there was, avoid it. The new one is very, very good. It is more screen accurate. The dorsal fins look phenomenal. The charcoal gray paint scheme looks really good, so I think they did a very nice job here. The improved hips, the improved hands, all good things. So yeah, guys, the new one is well worth your time, especially if you like, you know, the boxes they've been doing. Doesn't matter to me, I'm tossing out all my boxes. So, but it is a nice box if you do like to display it. All the boxes have original poster art on them, and that is very cool. All right, guys, that's my review. Hope you dug this double. Let me know your thoughts below, and if you could please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Check me out on Facebook and Instagram. Stay safe. Till next time, peace out, peeps.